Hi guys, it's John again with another update on my monthly earnings, and today we're looking at my earnings in August. So overall it wasn't too bad. I managed to get a total of $82 per day, which is around £70 per day, but I managed to get a 6.1% return on my 20,000 Masternoded, so that's a profit of €1,220, and I have now withdrawn that, so that'll be in my account next month. So yeah, do check out my YieldNodes video in the description, and if you want to sign up, I do have an affiliate link. But yeah, this is definitely my biggest earner of my monthly earnings every month. So next up is Helium, so we can take a look at that as well. So overall, that earned me just over $2.20 per day, which is a total value of $66 over the month, which is, as you can see, just under 14 Helium. So obviously the price of Helium is down quite a lot at the moment, but yeah, my two hotspots are doing pretty well still, and they're earning a fair amount per month, as you can see. So I'm quite happy with Helium still, and hopefully with some of the new announcements that are coming out soon, the price and value of Helium will go up from what it is currently, which is around $5 or $6, back up to hopefully at least $10, if not more, if they can push it. But yeah, that's still a really good return here. 17.5% of my initial investment, or my investment on my second miner at least, is coming back to me this month. And that's with the value of HNT being quite low, so it's still really good return here of 17.5%. So next up we have my shared Masternodes, and these did struggle a bit this month. There were some issues with people selling off and doing all sorts of funny things to try and cheat the system a bit. So although they have made a profit, it is quite a lot smaller than it was last month, but still a profit nonetheless, with 5% on my Monk, 3.5% or nearly 3.5% on my Esker, couple of percent on Dash D, and just under 1% on my PNY node. So next up is Gape Finance, and this has done pretty well this month, considering again it's still under peg. So we've got the vineyard, so I did actually move out of the vineyard my initial 500, and I've moved it into Magic just to try and help the protocol a bit, because here it actually burns the grape in this auto burn vault. So I'm currently getting 0.11 daily on what's currently now $234 worth of grape. Now I might consider putting that into Gape Node, because they are coming out with a version 2 of nodes, and I've already got 154 nodes here, so version 2 could push the price up quite a bit. That being said though, my Gape node made a nice $881 in August, so that's pretty good still. Nearly 7% return there on my investment, and I did obviously put more in. I've been compounding 3 times and collecting 1 time, which is the correct procedure to do, and that's given me about 0.23% daily, which is still pretty good. And like I say, even if it's under peg, I think that's doing pretty well. So next up is the Winemaker game, and this had only just launched last month when I went over it briefly. This is a game that the Gape team have come out with. So basically you stake your vinters here, and you can give them tools to help them produce vintage faster. You can unlock additional skills. You can see here I've unlocked a few skills here. You do have to pay grape to do this, and this is all good for the ecosystem as it burns grape whilst doing so. You can then move stuff into the cellar and stake it here. You can actually stake it on the Gape Finance website as well. You can see here I'm staking a bit of my S vintage that I've created so far, and I'm getting paid in wine. So it's quite a cool little system. You can see here I've made 8.3% back. I've only put a tiny bit amount in here, but that's quite a good return really. And I know that they are introducing new tools and things to make it even more exciting to play. So we'll see how that goes over the month of September, and see if we can get this up at all from the $12.50 that I managed to get this month. Okay, so next up is Horde, and this gave me a nice 24% back this month. Now it would be around 30% or 31%, but I did actually put some additional money into Horde, as you'll see in a moment. So we can see here the total over the month is around $530. So you can see here I've got 3 plots and a soulstone, and that's earning me $35 per day so far. And as far as I can see, the Horde ecosystem's going really well, and they are introducing new features and things. I think there's a game, well there is a game coming soon, a Wasteland game, so that'll be quite interesting to see how that affects things and just provides more liquidity into the Horde ecosystem. So speaking of Horde, we've got EasyBlock Horde as well, which I did a video on the other day, and this is basically a way of getting into the Horde ecosystem, but at a much lower price. So as you can see, I bought 100 shares, and that's earning me about $52 every 10 days, which is about 0.53% daily on my initial investment. So that's still a really good investment. You can basically set and forget this if you want. I haven't turned auto compounding on at the moment, but you could turn it on and increase your shares and therefore get even more money as time goes on. But yeah, this is a nice little system to sort of, purchase a couple of shares or just dip your toe into Horde itself without having to worry about the taxes and compounding yourself. You can just set this and leave it, and it will do all the work for you. So that only came out quite recently, so I've only managed to get 4.44% this month. But like I say, we'll see how that goes in September. That should be a lot higher in next month's video. So next up is StableFuel, and it's another 26% return here this month, which total value of $130 back, which is just under 1% daily here. Now I would say this is starting to get more risky because the TVL is going down. If we have a look at the graph here, we can see here it's steadily going down here, so that could be draining to almost nothing. But we'll see again at the end of next month how things go. They may be planning different marketing techniques and things to get this back up. But yeah, it is a very risky one to get into. So I would stay away from this if I were you for the time being, just to be sure that you don't come in at the last minute and lose all your money. But yeah, for me it has done pretty well. That's 26% back, so I'm quite happy with that. And if it does go to zero next, or by the end of this month, then I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, as I only put in $500 to start with. Okay, next up is RedLight Chain, and basically this is from the guys who did the RedLight node district, and I actually bought this whilst I was on holiday, so I didn't really have much ability to move much around at the time, but I thought I'd put about $150 in and see how it went. It was basically purchasing a coin on their ecosystem which hadn't launched yet, and they were promising this gasless chain, which has now been released, funny enough. And yeah, the price of it has gone really stupid. So you can see here, I've pretty much doubled my money. This was as high as $800 the other day, but it has dropped a bit as people sell off their coin. But I'm quite happy just to sit and hold this for the time being. Like I said, I've only put $158 in, so I'm not going to lose any sleep if it did go down to zero, but I don't imagine it will do because it is one of the first gasless chains to be released, and I think there's some pretty good things coming with RedLight and Scarlet chains in the future. I will do a separate video on Scarlet chains. Currently it's under maintenance, which is a bit of a shame as I can't show you, but they did have a few issues in their DApp which they're sorting. Yeah, that's definitely one to look out for. I have now migrated my mansions that I had in the RedLight node district across to the new Scarlet chain system, and I will now be earning a passive income from that, so that will definitely be appearing in next month's list. So next up is Mysterium, and again it's been another good month. I managed to get a total of 55 mist, which is just under $18, and that's a 10% return on the original investment, which is pretty darn good if you ask me. So my total back now is $67 out of the $173 that I spent originally, and yeah, it's been doing pretty well. It's like I say, you can see here, apart from the fact one of mine is offline at the moment, I'll have to sort that out. They've both been doing pretty good and earning a nice amount of mist in the last few days, so I'm quite happy with those. And yeah, like I say, it's certainly turned itself around from the few cents I was earning a few months back. So next up, I've put JumpTask Staking in. So JumpTask have now added, well, they had a staking feature, but they've added additional benefits to it, such as a nice 31% back at the moment on the JMPT token. So if you stake 100, you can get 31% APR back on your balance. So I'm currently got nearly one jump earned for the last week or so. So yeah, that's doing pretty well, as you can see. Now the APR has gone down quite a bit. I think it started at 100% or something, maybe even higher. But yeah, as more jump got added to the pool, obviously the APR went down as well. But yeah, that's a nice sort of set and forget passive income there, earning some JMPT in the background. So that's given me currently about 1% back, which isn't a huge amount, but that did only launch mid-August, so it'll be interesting to see how that looks next month. That offer is only on for 2 months, and then I guess it will go back to the 22%, which is still pretty good in the fluid starter section pool here, but it'll be interesting to see how that all looks next month. So next up is PlanetWatch, and that's just been steadily giving me 133 planets per day for the month, so that's earned about just under $28, which is a 1.5% back, so not brilliant, but again, value of planets is so down at the moment. I am still surprised it's a positive figure, so that's something at least. SCPrime as well has done not too bad. We've managed to get 46 SCP from my two providers, which is around $10, which is just under 3% back on my initial investment. So again, I won't go over the passive income through showing my internet connection here. These are just some of the apps I'm using and just an estimate on what they're returning, but I will definitely go over these two down here, which are both red and crossed out. So Liquid Capital, if any of you were part of, you'll be aware that they completely closed down. So all that money they raised was completely useless basically and went to waste. And although they did manage to refund some of the money for investors, I did lose $300 of my 1,000. So I've put that in here just as a minus, so you can see it is affecting my end result here by quite a bit. So I lost 30% on there, but I did at least get just under 700 back on my LAR tokens that I'd purchased. It's a bit of a shame really. There's a whole story about it all, which you can see on Discord, but yeah, that's quite a sad one there. Also, Crypto Tab, I am unable to get a response from their support, so my account isn't working anymore. Whether that's because I got banned or not, they haven't told me. They did respond to one of my messages and then didn't respond to any more, so I'm just counting that as a loss and I'm not going to bother using that again in the future. But yeah, those are my two losses for this month. So all in all, I managed to get a 6.5% back on my total invested here, which is pretty good still, I'd say. Certainly compare that to any bank and you won't get anywhere near that. And £70 a day, we're getting closer to £100 a day. So if I can get up to £100 a day, I'll be quite happy. And certainly I think with the RedLight Chains system, with the nodes that I have there from my RedLight Finance mansions, I think that will certainly be helping towards my end goal of at least £100. So as always, I've put links to these different projects in the description if you want to check them out, and any videos I have made on them. And if you've got any questions at all, do leave them down below. I will do my best to answer them. If you have any projects you want me to have a look at, then do leave them in the description and I will be sure to check them out. I have actually hidden a few different things here which made no money basically, just so you're aware. So I've still got my Hydro Whales NFT, my Wolf of Finance NFT, the winery is obviously under peg, that's now closed, Animal Farm, who knows, and obviously EasyBlock Strong and Fire are pretty much dead. So I'm just hiding those for the time being, just to make sure everything fits on the screen for you. But yeah, any other projects you want me to take a look at, let me know. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.